Still Poddable, still Poddable. The Boston Celtics still Poddable, still Poddable. Oh yeah! Still Poddable, still Poddable. The Boston Celtics still Poddable, still Poddable. Banana 19.
Beat Rob, Jim, Pekka, Jake King.
Still Poddable, still Poddable.
The Caesar on the court to get another ring.
Still Poddable, still Poddable.
Everybody in the chat now sing.
Still Poddable, still Poddable. Still Poddable, still Poddable. The Boston Celtics still Poddable, still Poddable. Oh yeah! Shut your ass up, man.
Daddy's always had one in there.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Late night edition of Still Poddable after an epic Game 1 of the NBA Finals. My name is Brian Robb, joined by the one and only kid, Jay King of The Athletic. This is Still Poddable. This is the free weekly show on Still Poddable, which is on the CLNS YouTube, brought to you by Prize Picks. You can check out Still Poddable Monday through Friday, every single day. If you go to patreon.com/Still Poddable, got a lot of great stuff coming up this offseason that we've already been diving into and we'll continue to. But tonight, Jay, it is about the one and only Indiana Pacers. And dare I say, is this the best Celtics accomplishment in the last 3 years? Just sweeping this Pacers team last year in the playoffs?
I think you already did say that on Twitter.
I did say that, Jay. I want to bring it to the Still Poddable. I want to float it to you.
Is it? I still don't know how to judge this Pacers team, man. Like,
they've got alligator.
They play Thomas Bryant for minutes. They've got Benedict Mathurin out there. They never have comfortable games. They've had seven of the most, not really seven, but close to seven of the most insane wins I've ever seen during this playoff run alone. They're probably getting some of the luck that they lost last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, they lost 3 coin flip games out of 4.
Right.
In that Eastern Conference Finals. And now it's all coming back to them and then some. I'm glad we decided to record after the game tonight because we would have been so stupid to record before this game.
Yes.
We would have been so dumb to miss.
We would have had to re-record. We would have probably texted each other and been like, we need to talk about this right now.
That was just an insane ending. They led for 0.3 seconds of the entire game. And it was the final 0.3 seconds.
They had 20 turnovers in the first half, or 19, and they won the game.
19 like that's. I feel like when you turn it over that much against the Thunder, you should be drawing dead.
Yeah. Not
somehow.
Pacers. Not this
they
team.
Just kept going. They finally stopped turning it over. Nembhard hit just an insane step back 3. Nesmith hit a crazy 3 from the corner. Obi Toppin got hot. Like, even before the actual comeback, they had so many shots when they were down like 13 or down 11. And they just like kept themselves from getting too far away from coming back. And obviously they've come back from a lot and they're capable of coming back from a lot. But felt like tonight they were like really close to getting knocked out. But every time they made a play. And then those plays started to keep coming. What's really impressive about the Pacers and really unique about the Pacers, it's like when everyone else slows it down in the fourth quarter, when everyone else just tries to grind it to a halt and get a matchup and get an ISO, they're pushing the pace. They are running and gunning and going. Doesn't matter if they're up, if they're down. They are running and going, and it seems like they get even faster and faster in the fourth quarter when everybody else slows down. And I think that's part of their magic formula for these comebacks is like you think rationally, you think as an NBA player, okay, it's the fourth quarter, the game's going to slow down a little bit. And instead, the Pacers just fucking go. And they take transition threes. They look for early baskets in transition. And then Tyrese Halliburton is on just a clutch heater right now. Absolute clutch heater.
Yeah,
What a game.
It's to your point on their pace. It's like and I think it's easier for them to do that because they play like that all the time, and so like it's like instinctual, and that's a credit to their talent, credit to Rick Carlisle and their coaching staff to like have them kind of that's their mode to go to, but it's relentless, and that's when you look at like Celtics or other teams that have failed in the postseason, like a lot of it is in the fourth quarter collapses. It's like you're settling for ISOs and you're dribbling the shit out of the ball and not getting good looks or turning the ball over, etc. Where, like you said, the Pacers just keep coming and coming, and they did it now again against one of the best defensive teams on paper in playoff history, and the Thunder, and closing out the game with a 12-2 run. They were down by 9 with 2:52 left in this game, and they closed it out. And the crazy thing, Jay, it's like this is what like maybe their third most impressive playoff win, like comeback win. Like it's not even
the one with 47 seconds left against the Cavs. I think they were down 8.
Right. Maybe they're fourth. Maybe like the Bucks one was crazy too. Like whatever that was. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if that's the game.
Yeah,
5.
this is our fourth most impressive comeback. Yeah. Although this one has to be judged a little differently because it's against the Thunder. Yes. It's against one of the best defenses we've seen in a long time. And it came on the road in game 1 of the NBA Finals after they had just been sloppy. They'd been fucking up the whole game. Like Aaron Nesmith, I don't know what he was doing for a while, like just trying to thread the needle with passes that weren't there. There was Rick Carlisle was mic'd up during one of the timeouts and was like, we can't throw those passes against this team. Like, you guys need to make the adjustment right now. and they didn't make the adjustment right away after that. But they ended up doing it. And like, they are defying logic during this playoff run. Absolutely defying logic. And right now, their run has been like they beat the hell out of the Cavs, who were a fantastic team. They worked the Knicks. And they just took game 1 of the NBA Finals against a team that everybody was ready to proclaim the next dynasty 4 hours ago.
While only leading for 0.3 seconds of the game.
And while throwing 19 turnovers in the first half.
Yeah.
Like, what happens if they play a clean game?
Right. That was like watching this game, and the fact that the Thunder never led by more than 15 points in this game, despite that atrocity from a ball handling standpoint, from a decision standpoint, from Indiana's offense in the first half. That was a bit of a red flag if you're the Thunder, being like, okay, this game should be over, but this it should be far more than 15 points. And I know like the Thunder, they were, I don't know what the exact paint shooting numbers are for them, but they missed a lot of stuff close. But ultimately, like the Pacers, like they cleaned it up enough in the second half to just stay there and then turn into their old clutch self. So I don't know. It's like it'll be fascinating to see, like you said, like if they just clean shit up in this game, like the Pacers, like for coming out in game 2 for 48 minutes, it's like, yeah, this is going to be a competitive series, and I don't think a lot of people expected that to be the case.
Yeah, and it was a really interesting game, starting with the Thunder deciding before game 1 of the NBA Finals to switch their starting lineup. Usually you don't get the team that's like an overwhelming favorite just saying before anything happens, we're not going to go with our double big lineup. And I think it was actually smart. I think it would have been really tough for them to match up with Indiana's quickness, with their pace, with all of that if they played both Chet and Hardenstein together. But also, like, normally that's a move you do after you drop a game or two. And normally you try to stick with your same style. But this was like a tip of the cap from them. Mm-hmm. Like we can't really match up with Indiana. And I thought for parts of the game, like the end of the first half, it was like all guards out there. I think either Siakam or Obi Toppin was playing center for the Pacers, and it was just straight guards for the Thunder. And it was just like, all right, this is a wild wild lineups on both sides right now. I kind of like it. One of my brothers is like, his answer to everything in life is to downsize your lineup. like no matter what, he's like, they should just throw another guard in there. Like, get rid of their big guy. who needs a big guy? And he was loving the choices by Carlisle and Dagno. I'd never say his name right.
Yeah,
I just have a mental block with his name. But I thought it was a really interesting game from those perspectives, especially the Thunder switching their lineup before the series even started. I thought that was not an alarm bell, but like, normally you just stick with what got you there, at least for a little while. And instead they kind of admitted before the series started that they might not be able to match up with Indiana.
Right. And now that, I mean, I'm looking at what Hartenstein, he played well. 9 points, 9 rebounds in 17 minutes.
Yeah, he played really well.
He played really well. The defense obviously was there for the Thunder throughout the game in terms of the ball pressure, but Case and Wallace, 3 of 9 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3.
He was a spot starter, or not the spot starter. He was
right. He was the guy who went starter.
He was minus 13.
Right. So now the question is like, okay, what do you do and get like? Are you sticking with this starting 5?
Dude, go to Caruso instead.
Right. Exactly. It's like Caruso is your better option there. If you're gonna go small, you might as well go for your best small 5 if you're gonna already make this move preemptively, like you said, which is a bit of a stunner in terms of just, like you said, like what generally happens in a playoff series is like you wait until you lose a game to make an adjustment like this, especially if you're the favorite. But this is a new era, and the Thunder are a different type of team. And so, I don't know if Case and Wallace is the guy who should be out there for your best 5 anyway, if you're going to just go that small.
It just felt like a weird finals game. like just a bizarre finals game. The Pacers went 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 deep. They played Thomas Bryant. They played Ben Shepherd. They played Benedict Mathurin, who I know he scored like 16 points a game during the regular season. Benedict Mathurin is not good at basketball yet. He might be one day. Right now, he is not good at basketball. And every second that he's out there, I think is a loss for them. He was minus 8 tonight in 16 minutes. You could feel when they had their like worst players out there, like Thomas Bryant was just a danger to them at all times. Like every second he was out there was just like, please, Oklahoma City, make a run. But then like the Thunder, they played AJ Mitchell. Like what? Like this is the fucking finals. What are you doing? You're playing AJ Mitchell? Like what? You're playing. How many deep did they go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 deep. 11 deep in an NBA Finals game. Like just pick your best guys. You don't have to experiment with your 11th best player during the NBA Finals. It's okay to play Alex Caruso more than 28 minutes.
Right.
It's okay to play Chet Holmgren more than 24 minutes. Like, what are you doing? What on earth are you doing? I just don't understand some of the coaching decisions. Like, what are you saving these guys for? Are you saving them for next round? Like, come on, guys. And I had a question in my mailbag. I didn't answer it in my mailbag on The Athletic.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the questions was about the lessons that the Celtics could learn or other teams could learn from the NBA playoffs. And in the question, it said like, seems like depth really matters. The Knicks had no depth. 0. Like they went 7 deep. They dusted off Landry Shamet and DeLon Wright during the end of the Eastern Conference Finals. But like in the Celtics series, they were playing 7 dudes. 7 dudes. And I'm not even sure Deuce McBride is very good. He had a pretty good regular season. But like, and then the Pacers, like they play a lot of guys. I don't think Mathurin is very good. Thomas Bryant definitely isn't very good. Ben Shepherd, like you could do without him. Like, how deep are these teams? They're playing dudes, but I don't think they're really deep. The Thunder are legitimately deep though. Like they go very deep. And as much as I shitted on them for playing AJ Mitchell, like they have a lot of guys who can play. Even Aaron Wiggins is like a talented dude, productive dude when he's out there. But I don't think one of the stories of this playoffs is like your depth really matters. I think athleticism matters. I think youth matters. I think because of the pace and space era, all that stuff matters. I think because of the collective bargaining agreement, it really, really helps to have young guys who aren't making a ton of money as some of your better players. But I don't think, like, if depth mattered that much, like the Celtics probably would have won because they were deeper than the Knicks and also better at the top of their roster. But they fucked up royally.
And there's the depth obviously hurt, like Hauser, Porzingis, like stuff comes up. But I think your bigger point stands. Like in this series like this is ultimately going to probably come down to the best 7 on like the Thunder versus the best 8 on the Pacers. Like it's stunning that a guy like Thomas Bryant is getting minutes in a series like this, and things after a game like this are just going to tighten up. But that's not the story here. That like the Pacers have a unique breed of talent, but they're not like here because of their depth. They're here because they play a certain way, and they have putting together the most clutch run in NBA playoff history at this point. So it's something else.
TJ McConnell's very good. Like he can change games off the bench. Obi Toppin can change games, especially when he's right. Like they do have good bench players, but I don't think like their depth is like something crazy or special. Or
Shepherd and Mathurin are not scaring you, and Toppin and McConnell are role players that are like unique role players.
Play those guys,
right?
if I'm another team, I'm like, please play Ben Mathurin. Have you seen like the memes on Twitter of Rick Carlisle? Because he, no matter like when they lose or like he'll bring up the other team's worst players and be like, oh wow, they got some great minutes from that guy. Or like he's almost begging the other coach to play that guy. It's really funny because he seems to do it a lot. And I don't know whether he's playing mental games or just being super complimentary of everybody. I don't pay enough attention to Rick Carlisle press conferences all the time to know, but the memes on Twitter are pretty funny.
Well, he'll be probably talking about Case and Walls tonight. All right, let's take.
He'll be like, oh man, I'm surprised they only played AJ Mitchell that much.
It's like maybe he'll be starting next game. He was great. All right, let's take a quick break here, Jay, to talk about our sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to turn your sports knowledge into cash. With millions of members, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You'd pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot of up to 2,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Looking ahead at this NBA Finals, Jay, we're going to have a game 2 coming up on Sunday. If I'm looking at the board here, a guy we haven't talked about yet, but I think we'll get to in a little bit, Aaron Nesmith. If I'm looking at more or less for him, I'm looking at the rebounds. And he had 12 rebounds in game 1. So if I'm looking at this again in game 2, I'm thinking more on the rebounds with Aaron Nesmith because that's an area where they've been able to beat up the Pacers on the glass. I mean, the Thunder on the glass, and I expect that to kind of continue as the series going on. But you can download the Prize Picks app today and use the code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Yeah, like we did talk briefly about Nesmith earlier. Like he had the rough first half. He had a potentially really rough moment where he got stuffed by Dort in the middle of that run. That I think the Pacers were down by 3 at that point. But beyond that
was
like
a great block.
it was unbelievable. I thought he fouled him in real time, and then you saw the replay. You're like, holy crap, he just held his ground and then came down.
You know what? They were raving about his verticality on the broadcast, but he was inching out a little bit. His body wasn't entirely vertical. I think
but he gets the respect. Dort gets
it
respect.
Probably was a foul, but also in real time, it's a lot harder to see that he's inching forward ever so slightly. And also, it was an amazing play, so I'm glad they didn't call a foul.
Right. But yeah, beyond that play, like Nesmith, I mean, 10 points. He had a clutch 3 during that run to close out the game. Led players on both teams with 12 rebounds. The 5 turnovers we talked about, but another pretty impressive coming of age moment, for Nesmith, just being on the floor again during a run like that and positively contributing to it.
And I was really impressed by him because a lot of guys, if you turn it over like he did in the first half, you just kind of go into a shell and you become nothing and you're destined to fuck up for the rest of the game. But he made plays. He was rebounding. He hit a huge 3 from the corner.
That was a tough one too.
That was a really tough shot. And I just felt like this one of the stories of the Pacers has just been their insane mental resilience. Like they're not a physically tough team. You don't look at them and you're like, wow, they have a lot of muscle. They have a lot of this, a lot of that. Those dudes just keep coming, man. They don't care if they're down. They don't care. Like they're going to press you full court. They're going to keep pushing the pace. They're going to play their style. They had 19 turnovers in the first half tonight and just kind of clung to just being right there. Not right there, but they were down like 10, 13. They kept it manageable. And I thought the whole time, I was like, OKC should be up more. Then it gets to like 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It's like 8 points. I think it was 13 at one point. But then every time it got to 13, the Pacers just kept coming back. It's like their resilience is really impressive. And I think Nesmith kind of typifies that. Like, and certainly did tonight. Like it's your first finals game. You're a young dude. You're playing against one of the best defenses in a long time. And instead of just, putting your head into your shell, you just play big minutes down the stretch for your team. And it wasn't just the 3. It wasn't just the rebound, like competing, defending, picking up full. He does all that stuff, and he does it for every second he's on the court and just never stops. He's part of their relentlessness that kind of makes them so tough to play against.
Yeah, and that was something that he kind of always showed in Boston, I felt like, except he didn't have it, his game together yet fully. But he always was going 100. Right. Like the fact that he couldn't hit a shot really for 2 years when he was here was obviously kept his minutes down, to say the least. But he was always relentless, and Crash Nesmith was always on the floor and stuff like that. So now for him to be able to harness it that much better now and bounce back from the moments you described there, like that is kind of a tribute to what this Pacers team is. And I don't know, it's like the confidence level of this team right now, like when they go down late in the game, like you've done this 3 or 4 times in the playoffs at this point. It's like they must be, you can't feel any better about yourself. You're doing this time and time again.
Even that last possession showed confidence from the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Through the, like, they did not call timeout. I think they had a timeout left.
Yeah, they did.
They did not call it. And it got kind of dicey there.
Like, took their time getting up.
They took their time. Halliburton didn't have really a lot going on for a little while. Even like like he had this sort of like they didn't totally double him. Like they sent a second guy, but didn't totally double him. And I thought he read that really well. Like he read that they were not really coming with the hard double and just took his time, pulled up and shot the jumper. But I thought even that showed the faith that they have in their team and their from the staff down. Is like, all right, we know what we're doing here. We know that Tyrese is going to get us something that we can live with. We don't have to call a timeout. Let's go in transition. Let's go get a bucket. And a lot of the time, it's easy to react based on the outcome. Like if they make it, it's like, oh, great call not to call a timeout. But if they missed it, it would have been like, oh, he should have called timeout. But I think, in their case, and I would say a lot of the times with the Celtics, but sometimes they go the other way. It's like what really matters isn't whether you call timeout or not. Is like, are you prepared for that moment, no matter what? And it seems like the Pacers are always prepared for that moment, whether they call the timeout, whether they don't. Like they know what they're doing, they know what they want to get to, and Tyrese Halliburton is going to get them something good. Right. And he's obviously been on a heater. He's made some tough shots. But in those situations, like he's really gotten something that they can feel pretty comfortable with every single time. And this was just another example. Like I think it was 9 seconds left when Oklahoma City missed and the Pacers got the rebound. That's not a ton of time. And then they didn't like really race to the other end of the court, but Halliburton took his time, got something that he wanted, and drilled it again. That dude has been on a memorable run. Like it's just a ridiculous run that he's been on. Like how many big shots has he hit? How many
Crazy.
highlight shots, game-winning shots? Just a ridiculous run. I can't remember. Maybe Dame Lillard had like a run sort of like that. But I can't really remember one where somebody just hit so many shots at the buzzer or right next to the buzzer during the course of a playoff series or a playoff run.
Right. Yeah, I think it'd be you put this ramp against anyone in terms of clutch shots. I agree. Like this is next level. And you had 6 Pacers players, and the craziest part about the run to close the game is like pretty much everyone on the floor contributed something. I think 5 different Pacers scored in their 13-2, like whatever it was, the 12-2 run to like win the game. Whether it was, Nembhard had a clutch step back 3 to kind of get it going. Siakam had a huge offensive rebound. Like, oh yeah, just like
the offensive rebound.
The offensive rebound to sneak
finish,
in there.
Yeah.
Nesmith had the 3 we talked about. Obi Toppin, had 17 points off the bench, was 5 of 8 from 3. I think again, Carlisle closing with him over Turner, I think was the right move given Turner
had that one like shot. I don't know whether it was I forget whether it was a pull up or like off a pass, but he was like really not set, and it was sort of from that elbow-ish range. It was a really tough shot in the fourth quarter.
Like George kind of contested that, and like he still got it off. And he had one off the glass, the 3. Like before
the 3 off the glass. That was probably not called.
Right.
Probably not called.
But just shots like that all night long, all second half long, I should say, that just kept him in the game.
It's just they just keep going, man. It's crazy. They're down 9, and then Nesmith hits a 3 to make it 6, and then Nembhard hits a step back to make it 3, and it's like they haven't even been close all game. They haven't even been on the same planet as the Thunder in regards to execution all game, and it's 3 points all of a sudden with like 3 minutes left, and you're like, how the fuck did that happen? I'm sure that Oklahoma City was thinking, how the fuck did that happen? All their fans were sitting there, probably the loudest environment anyone's ever been in, and in that crowd, and then 3 minutes left, 3-point game, they're like, oh fuck. Like this is going wrong. I don't like this very much. But that's just what the Pacers are doing. It's been just a mesmerizing run. They just cannot stop like delivering when they're like 3% to win a game or less.
Yeah, and see what the number was tonight, but it is. And I guess the Thunder did have one of these. Like, I mean, the Nuggets collapse, whatever that game was at home, that was pretty bad. But that was with some free throw issues mixed in there. This was just the fact that there was no like fouling during this run was amazing too. Like the flow of the game just kept going to the end. There was no intentional fouling during it, which is like was a nice change of pace after we saw so much of that in the last couple of rounds. But what do you do here for game two? If we talked about, do you go to Caruso in game two in the starting five, or do you just say after you play him 40 minutes instead of playing him whatever it was 28?
And he had 5 fouls. I forget when he got his 5th foul. Caruso did.
Must have been late.
He also had a great like call for a review game. He was constantly calling for reviews. I actually thought that I think Richard Jefferson was like the first one he was calling for a review. He stripped whoever it was. And I thought it was really clean. And they showed the replay. It looked really clean to me. And Richard Jefferson was like, why is he calling for a replay? Well, because he fucking stripped him clean, man. But yeah, I think I would play Chet more. Like you can't play Chet 24 minutes. Especially if you're trying to play small. Why would you play Chet for just 24 minutes? That doesn't make sense to me.
And Pacers killed him on the glass. Like they got, I think, 34% of their grabbed rebounds on 34% of their misses, which is like 82nd percentile per clean the glass. So that's an area when you're not playing Chet that much or just playing single big. That's where they're gonna get you. They
only played Chet and Hartenstein combined 40 minutes.
Right.
So that's 8 minutes without either of them on the court. I don't think they ever went double big. I do wonder if they'll try double big. I don't think you have to be like super nervous about every player on the Pacers roster. Like you can't play double big when like Benedict Mathurin is out there. You can't play double big when TJ McConnell is out there. You can't stick Chet Holmgren on TJ McConnell.
Right.
I just feel like there are spots to use that group, and that group changes Oklahoma City from a vulnerable rebounding team to like a dominant rebounding team. Yeah, like you look at all these minute totals, it's like, do the coaches know it's a finals game? Like Pascal Siakam, 35 minutes. Lou Dort, 36. Jalen Williams, 36. Like Chet Holmgren, 20.
They're easing their way 24. In here. They're easing their way in game one.
What? Are you ever going to play these guys more minutes? It's fucking fine. You just had a week off.
And they're going to have 2 days off in between games, to your point. They're going to you're going to have plenty of time to rest in between. The only time there's only 1 day off is between game 3 and game 4 in the finals.
Yeah. So. I feel like you got to play your guys more minutes. It's a fucking finals.
But I don't know if like the Thunder right now, like they got 38 from SGA. They got 5 of 9 3-point shooting from Dort. And they lost. That's while forcing whatever it was, 20. How many turnovers? They had 25 turnovers.
25.
25.
There were 6 players on the Pacers had multiple turnovers, including 5 who had at least 3 turnovers.
That's crazy.
And 2 who had at least 5 turnovers. And they won. On the road. Game 1 of the finals. It's just a baffling run by them, honestly. They're tough as hell.
That's what they do.
They never go away. Do you think they figured some things out in the second half? Or Oklahoma City kind of like let it go a little bit? It felt to me like Oklahoma City was just trying to get to the end.
Yeah.
And the Pacers were like, fuck that. We're going to push the pace. We're going to go right at you. and kind of made some things happen. And then once the momentum was gone, the Thunder just couldn't get it back.
Yeah, I think that's because I think, and the one concern you have about the Thunder is like the secondary pieces holding up under the bright lights offensively. And this was a night where that did not happen outside of Dort. And I think that really showed through in the second half and during this run down the stretch, to your point of like, it was SGA's show and he didn't have much help there. And there was really no secondary playmaking going on. And that's something that's going to be a decision for them going forward in terms of who needs to be on the floor in those moments. How do we not become too one-dimensional on that front if the Pacers are going to throw 3-4 guys at SGA in the lane and we don't have guys that are going to make them pay? Like, that might be the story of the series from a Thunder's offense.
The Thunder had 6 turnovers. Miles Turner had 6 turnovers.
Wait, the Thunder had 6 turnovers in the game?
Yeah.
That's insane. So the margin was
18.
18. Good God.
I guess I'm not looking at team.
Yeah,
turnovers.
so team turnovers. So 7 team turnovers.
I'm looking at individual.
Yeah.
No, it says 24 turnovers to 6. At least.
All right, yeah, 18. Yeah.
18.
18 was the spread.
I just don't understand. Like the Pacers turnover totals were so crazy. Like Miles Turner doesn't really handle the ball a whole lot. He had 6 turnovers. Aaron Nesmith, not a primary playmaker. 5 turnovers. like guys who don't really need to make all that many decisions had all the turnovers or a lot of the turnovers. And Halliburton, obviously, like he was uncharacteristic with some of his mistakes. He had 3 turnovers, which is a lot for him. I guess that's really good over 39 minutes against that defense. But I just feel like they can be so much cleaner. They won't always shoot like that, but they stole. Like when you steal a game like that, it can change the whole series. It changed the whole Knicks series. It changed the whole Cleveland series.
Pretty much almost every game in the East, the last 2 rounds, like Celtics, Knicks, Knicks, Pacers. That was game 1, right? And then, like you said, the Cavs game 2. Cavs, like it's crazy how much this has happened during this postseason, and how many crazy comebacks we've watched in both conferences. And now we get one. I mean, I'd put up that finish with almost anything we've seen in the finals for the last, few years. Certainly, easily the best game 1 in recent memory. But that was just an electric finish and followed the path of what the Pacers, and no one can really be surprised at this point. This is like where we're at, and damn it, it's an Indy. I mean, the ratings are probably dog shit for this game, but who cares? Give me more games like this.
Would you start Case and Wallace again?
No,
I wouldn't either.
it's just done.
He's a great defender. He's a good player, but you make yourself smaller. You make yourself worse at rebounding. He's not really. He can shoot, but he's not like a shooter that you're like super worried about.
No. So
you remove a lot of threats by playing him. But now you started the series doing that. You've already told your team you don't trust a double big, so I don't know if you can go to that. Could be just a classic play better adjustment, but
I don't know if you're going to get them to turn the ball over 24 times again. So you better hit some shots and finish. You definitely got to finish in the paint if you're going to be starting Case Wallace and having guys who are hitting threes outside of Lou Dort. That's you can't be doing both things poorly. But I'm with you.
Turnovers though, they only had 11.
Yikes.
24 turnovers and you get 11 points off the home. How is that even possible?
Yeah. That's letting one slip away. But that's I don't know. This is great. Like this is going to be a longer series now, I feel like, and I'm all for it because these are two fun teams to watch.
They are fun teams to watch. There's been a lot of talk about the ratings and stuff. These are two good
basketball purists.
Great basketball
will
teams.
Enjoy this series. No.
Like they play fast, they play hard, they're pressing full court, they go small, they shoot, like they play with freedom. It's just a beautiful game the way these two teams play it, except when they're turning it over 24 times.
Just throw out the first half tape and you're good. All right. I think that's going to do it for us. We will be back Monday after game 2. We're gonna have to wait till after game 2 to record, maybe on Sunday now, Jay. I think is that the play here?
I mean, how could we not?
How can we
How could we record before it?
That would be an amateur move to not to do so. But yeah, play more in these finals, plenty more on the Celtics offseason coming up. A lot of rumors out there. A lot more will be coming out in the next 2 weeks as we get closer to the draft. We'll be on top of it all of more guests, analysis, good stuff coming your guys' way. Thanks for checking us out on the CLNS YouTube if you're listening there. Thanks for sponsoring Prize Picks. If you're interested in checking us out every single day, Monday through Friday, go to patreon.com/Poddable. Join today. You won't regret it. Jay King, Jan Packard, myself, every single day. What more could you want?
And this is the first time I've ever recorded in pajamas.
And I was going to say, and you're in your new... Looks great. Looks comfy.
Yeah.
How's the new place?
New apart. It's awesome. I love it.
It looks good. Nice backdrop too.
Yeah.
Win-win.
Yeah. Got some more space over here, which is awesome. My wife did an incredible job unpacking shit. We just moved in Saturday and she just got everything gone. Like just unpacked everything real quick.
Nothing better. I'm still unpacking after 5 years, so she wins.
I would be as well, but she just whipped us into shape real quick.
A great wife. All right, that's it for us. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys on Monday.
Still Poddable, the Boston Celtics, still Poddable.